What's good, Joe? It's your boy Rome DMV. We here live with the man Beasley himself, man. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good, doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Summer Madness was awesome. I had a great time, but now we got to get right back to business, man. So I got to grill you with some questions, man.
Let's go. I'm ready to go.
All right, where are the Born Legacy Supreme battles, man? Where are they at? Like they're nowhere to be found whatsoever. So like what are we doing with that, man?
Okay. The Born Legacy Supreme battles are chopped and fully edited, ready to drop. I was gonna drop a couple of them the week prior to Summer Madness, but I felt like it's a tricky thing because you don't want to drop them right before, but then right after, everyone wants to see the Summer Madness battles. Even though the Summer Madness battles are fully bootleg, but some of them were, and some people saw them, a lot still haven't. So the demand for them is going to be high. So what I probably have to do is mix and match the releases and release one Summer Madness, one Born Legacy battles within the same week, so we can have a balance of the two.
Okay, all right. Are you like far away from your phone a little bit? You're a little bit quiet.
Is this better?
Yeah, it's better now. We can hear you, but that's a lot better now. All right. So the next question, I guess, would be, what would be the first battle from Born Legacy Supreme and Summer Madness 6 to drop?
What do you think they should be?
Well, from most of the people, the two battles of the night were Twerk and Ill Will and Joe and Franchise. Those were like the two battles of the night from Born Legacy Supreme, people were saying. So I guess Twerk and Ill Will. And then from Summer Madness, in my opinion, I mean, it all depends on how you want to do it. Like, do you want to do it from the most demand to the least demand, or what? Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, probably, probably makes sense to bring the T-TREX and Hollow out just because, that's what people were talking about,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's pretty much what I was thinking. Like T-TREX and Hollow, it's so debatable, and in my opinion, it's an automatic classic. So if you guys could put that out ASAP, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Definitely would.
All right. So my next question: how is URL going to overcome the death of YouTube?
Well, that's a popular question that people are asking, and I think. When you talk to your fans and the people who are tuning in, when he says the death of YouTube, of course it's still, one of the biggest platforms in the world. But in terms of monetization for edgy content, it is not.
Yeah.
And, I look at it like this. When the DVD platform began to die, we moved to YouTube. There's always something coming around the corner or around the bend or another solution. And sometimes when you face adversity, it forces you to adapt.
Yep.
We have some plans in mind, creating our own platform, as well as some other major platforms that are going to be coming into fruition in 2018. So it's just a matter of making the transition to those platforms, and I think we have enough of a following to bring our followers to our platforms as well as the other major platforms where content can live. So, you'll see come early 2018.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys kind of already have a plan in place to move somewhere, but you just don't want to disclose where yet.
Yeah, I got to get in there and get it rolling first, because once I do it, everybody else is going to do it. You know what I mean? Or somebody else is going to jump to the punch before me. So I just try to, move accordingly. But of course, we're adapting. And until that happens, we still will release our videos where our fans can see them on YouTube. Okay.
All right. So let me just ask a couple questions about Summer Madness that have been kind of iffy. You came out on stage and you said that there was a discrepancy between the battlers with the time limits between Hitman and K-Shine. Then Hitman came out and said it was K-Shine that was rapping about the time. So would you mind like explaining like specifically like what happened, like, because it was honestly very confusing. So a lot of people are like, what really happened?
Okay. What happened was this. I was calling, we have contracts, you know what I mean, for every battle. And in our contracts, it says that, we have 3 rounds lasting for 3 minutes. typically a 3-minute round. Now, most of the time, these guys violate the contract. So what I try to explain to guys is, once you violate the contract, it's no good. Meaning, if one guy says, yo, my round's only 3 minutes and 15 seconds, but he shouldn't be allowed to rap for 4 minutes, that's not fair. That's not how it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, once one person violates it, it's violated. So either we stick to the contract 100% or we don't. You can't say, well, we're just going to violate it for 15 seconds, but he wants to violate it for 45 seconds. You're both wrong. So, in this particular instance, K-Shine said, I wrote my round based on what the contract said. 3 rounds lasting for 3 minutes. Hitman said, I interpreted it as it's 3 rounds. The minimum that I have to write is for 3 minutes. My rounds are 4.5 minutes long.
Wow. He had 4.5-minute rounds?
Right. So now you have a situation where Shine says, shit, I wrote for the contract. And Hitman's going, well, shit, I wrote more than the contract. Now you're in a situation where he has his rhymes crafted. And if I cut him off at the 3-minute mark or the grace period, it's still, he's missing material. And his rhymes are set up in a particular way. So now he's complaining about that. And then, hey, K-Shine's like, nah, we signed the contract. This is what we agreed to. Fuck that.
Yeah.
So now he's like, yo, K-Shine's like, well, he can go up to 3:30 at 30 seconds extra, but I'm not going to let somebody go a whole minute and a half over me with the crowd cheering and everything. It's going to make it look like I wrote short.
Yeah.
I'm following what the contract said. Hitman saying, well, lasting doesn't mean that it ends. Lasting means that it could last for 3 minutes. That's how I interpret it.
So what did the contract mean? Like we saw they both interpreted differently. So what did the contract actually mean?
I mean, I wrote it to mean 3 minutes, 3 rounds, lasting 3 minutes each round. Meaning that the rounds are 3-minute rounds. I don't want to write 6-7 minute rounds per battle.
Yeah. Okay.
That kills battles to me if they're not good.
So K-Shine,
mind you, we're arguing about this backstage. Nobody wants to budge. Everybody's tough. And now we're in a situation where I can't get these guys out because we can't agree on the time. I don't want to call time on somebody in the middle of their round because then they go crazy. URL, y'all set me up. Just that, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, you're not calling time on him. You told me 3 minutes and he told me this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing to do. And with an event like Summer Madness and a platform like URL, it means so much more to these guys than it does any place else. So, you know, I was really facing those issues. And it was really a tough thing to get by, you know?
Yeah.
So, ultimately, Hitman was like, well, fuck it then, just cut me, man. So the only round that Hitman really was cut was his first. He said that his rounds were 4 minutes and change, but they actually ended up falling within the 3:30 or so time limit. I didn't have to cut his second and third round. But I was under the impression that I was.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
So you were ready to cut him off in the second and third, but you didn't need to.
Yeah, so like I think he was just saying that's what he guesstimated them to be, but I kept telling him, just go do your rhyme with no one interrupting you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And see where they end up at. But you know, you have two hothead guys like K-Shine and like Hitman, they're not gonna budge. It was both tough guys. You know what I'm saying? Nah, this is what it is. Nah, Beasley, this is what it is. People have written over the time limits in the past, and I'm trying to establish, you know, calling time or getting guys to react to rhyme within a certain time period.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, cadence is different. You know, I don't stop the clock for applause. I mean, I stop the clock for applause. As they bring rhymes back, I start the rhymes when the new bar begins.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. But it's still difficult to get an accurate time because some people, they take breaks, they breathe, they drink water, they do different shit in between the rounds. So it's never going to be 100% exact.
Well, is there an official timekeeper for URL?
Yeah, there is, but it's still hard to do that, man. Trust me. It's not what you think. It's not just turn the clock on and when it's up at 4 minutes. See, in the earlier times, dudes were not writing long rounds. You know, when in the beginning of URL, we used to turn the clock on. Sometimes it didn't even stop for applause. Just let it run.
Yeah.
Call it, and nobody would be angry. Now, it's evolved. It's gotten different. There's timing. There's more performance. There's different things that are happening. The sport is growing. So guys put a lot more into it.
So you're saying like back then it would be like pretty much like you would get a 4-minute round including crowd reaction. So like however much reaction you get is what you get.
Turn it on and let it go. Boom.
That could be a little bit better. That might end up solving issues if you guys just do 6-minute rounds each.
Remember though, keep in mind it was a smaller crowd.
Yeah, that is true.
It wasn't in the big venues.
Yeah.
Big venues, you know, people scream, you can't even rhyme anymore. You're missing your points, getting cut off. And the audience gets mad because they feel like they paid their money and they get cheated. So there's got to be a little balance in the scenario, but it's definitely a hard thing to manage. But we're working on some solutions.
Okay, all right. And also another time limit issue from the event. Rum Nitty's manager said that Rum Nitty got cut off, but with his rounds, but you guys let JC go over the time limit. Is that true, or was JC kept the time?
No, what happened was this. This is what happened. They did agree to a time limit, but from what I understand, I wasn't on the stage at that time. When they did reach the time limit, he said, "Let him go." Like Rum Nitty, from what I was told, this is from the timekeeper. And Rum Nitty said, "Go ahead, let him finish his rhymes." Now, the thing is, he didn't have to say that. When you say that, even though you're trying to make it look good and you want us to stand firm on it, you have to let the timekeeper know that beforehand. Once you tell him that, you know what I'm saying?
He's going to let him go.
Like, well, it was for you to say to stop as the company, which is true. But you can't turn to the guy keeping the time and go, "Nah, it's cool, let him rock." You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Just don't say anything. It's not your business at that point. If he calls time and JC's, "Oh, man," just don't say anything. You know, that's the rules. Don't try to be cool and wait for the timekeeper to go, "Nah, man, that's the time." Because he doesn't know to chime in on that. If you don't mean it, then don't say it.